a lesson in there. So it nails that level perfectly. Then it moves lower and it leaves this area here. One more time, it trades to it, above it. One more time, making sure there's no mohawks in the lawn. It's seamless. And then it breaks lower. One more time, it trades up. What is it going back up into? Consequent encroachment of this gap, midpoint. Hits it. When you see that, as soon as you see that, you're thinking, okay, this. So it nails that level perfectly. Then it moves lower and it leaves this area here. One more time, it trades to it, above it. One more time, making sure there's no mohawks in the lawn. It's seamless. And then it breaks lower. One more time, it trades up. What is it going back up into? Consequent encroachment of this gap, midpoint. Hits it. When you see that, as soon as you see that, you're thinking, okay, this is the last time it's going to do it. Why? Because this has already went up to the midpoint of this area here. And why? Because your targets, your terminus, the levels that you're expecting and looking for, that's where it's going to draw to. Just like when you're sitting down to figure out when you're going to cut the lawn, when you start making that mower pass over top your lawn, you know you got to keep doing it until you get to the end of the lawn. Well, the end of the lawn is down here, so you got to keep constantly doing what? Apply the paint to the wall or keep pushing that mower until it goes to completion. The completion is time and price. So we're in that last hour of trading, 3 o'clock hour. The market's delivering into our objectives. But when it goes up into this level here, you're anticipating it to do what? Never go back up here. It has no need to do that. But what can it do? What's permissible? It can go back inside this fair value gap. Because why? This is an old inefficiency in price. Whereas this, the difference between this candle's low and this candle's high here, this is efficient. What makes it efficient? It's traded both directions in between this candle's low and this candle's high. So price is effectively permitting balance in order flow in price delivery. Price delivery is every time there's a new price tick and there's a new fluctuation in price action, that's delivery. That's the market being presented a new valuation on an asset. So what we're doing is we're measuring how often that delivery of price, how many times within a range specific to time, which is these two specific candles here, how many times has it passed through the same range of a specific number of prices, meaning that this candle's high here comes in at 41.18 and a quarter, 0.25. And this candle's low here comes in at 41.16.75. So between those two price points, price went down, and then this candle here opened, went up, and then went down again. So this entire range between candle high and candle low is balanced. It can go back up into the midpoint of that. That's normal. I allow for that. In my analysis, when I'm reading price, I allow for it to go up to halfway. It's rare that it will go all the way back up to the top of a balanced price range. It can. It just means that I'm probably getting ready to bail on the trade if I'm using that as a point of interest to measure if these PD arrays are able to stave off an advance or a retracement against my trade. So I'm treating these PD arrays like you are being taught to use support and resistance, but never get them to work right. Whereas the algorithm is going to go into these specific little signatures and price action that cannot be hidden from you. It can't hide it from you, folks. That should be exciting. It's not like they're going to be able to go out there tomorrow and turn off candlesticks. We all, look, are you going to stop using a clock? Raise your hand in the audience right now if you're going to say, the hell with this. I'm not using a clock. I'm getting rid of my watches. I'm never going to look at the time anymore. That's absurd. And that's the first primary function of what price does. It follows time. It does things at specific times. Then it delivers price based on the efficiency and the price delivery continuum. It has to continuously offer fair value. If the market runs too quick one direction and it goes down like it does here in this one candle, is it fair? And it's probably not the best term of using for describing this, but for the sake of making it easy to understand, because fairness is not really the goal here for these markets. But if the market drops down like this and leaves this little separation between this candle's low and this candle's high, there was no overlap, no other candle after this candle closes, no other candle printed within the price range between this candle's high and that candle's low, in between these three candles. It's that small little segment of price action creates that little pocket, the little porous price action hole. It needs to be filled in. Okay, think of it like a pothole on the road. Okay, you're going down the road, hey, boom, you just blew out your front end alignment. You're going to call the state, hey, you so and so's, I just tore my thing up. Well, where is that? What mile marker? Let me go back. I got to drive back up to it. There's the mile marker, and then there it is. But the fair value gap can be revisited entirely, and that's what we see here. Notice that these wicks trade up into that same old inefficiency, hits it here, hits it here. All this is a reclaimed fair value gap. Reclaimed means it simply went back to it and treating it as you would expect a resistance level to be respecting. If it's going to go lower, it's going to do what? It's going to go up, fail, go up, reject it, and send it lower. Wonderful. Wonderful. That's exactly what you want to see. You want to see that. You should not be freaking out when the market's rallying up back to these areas here, because we have this behind it, this balanced price range. This is kind of like the defender. Okay, it's the linebacker of price action. It's saying you can only go so far, Jack. You're not getting through me. It's the iron wall. Okay, you're saying no, can't get through me.